freaking first cut. Golly.
Welcome to the First Cut Podcast. I'm Rick Gehman, and this is your recap episode for this week's Memorial. Joining me to break it all down, Mark Immelman is here from there. Hello, Mark.
How's it, boys? Just had my final milkshake of the week, so I'm glad to be with you guys.
What was the final number?
Well, one yesterday, one today, so just two. No, I like three. I had two yesterday. I had chocolate in the morning, cookies and cream in the afternoon, and I just had coffee and chocolates. Chef's kiss today.
That's a lot of restraint, honestly. Only 3 in 2 days. I would have had one with each meal and a couple of snacks along the way. Greg DuCharme is here. Hello, Greg.
Boys, what a week. This is an especially fun tournament for me to watch. You'll see a little more when you look at the betting card for the week and you throw Adam Hadwin in the mix. And I couldn't lose all day. So I just had a great time watching.
You were just smiling and smiling and smiling. Wipe that smile off Greg's face. Kyle
great.
Is here. Hey, KP.
What's up, boys? Just got back from a golf trip. I'm kind of disoriented. So Scottie winning just kind of reorients me to reality. Everything's like back in things are as they should be.
The earth is
play?
spinning.
Huh?
How'd you play?
Nobody wants to hear about that.
Disoriented?
I hit it good. I mean, I made an eagle, which was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. We played, we were up at Big Cedar, Paynes Valley and all that stuff.
Par 4 or par 5, Eagle?
Do I?
Par 4 or par 5, Eagle?
5. Got up and down from like 230 or something.
Nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's what I was gonna ask. That's sick. So you had an eagle putt and you rolled it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oof, that's sick.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been probably a bogey if it hadn't hit the cup.
Don't worry about that.
It would have been about 18 feet past.
So what were the skins worth on the hole?
We were playing a best ball match play, so we did skins on the par 3 course, but we did best ball match play on the big courses. It's
nice.
Fun. So fun.
Jealous. I love that. Very, very good. All right, listen, let's talk Memorial because we're also dangerously close to declaring it U.S. Open week. We'll talk about that in just a bit, but he has done it, and he has done it again for the 5th time this year. Scottie Scheffler is victorious. This one was not necessarily a runaway, Mark. Entered the day with a 4-shot lead. He won by 1. It came down to the very last stroke. We'll talk about that more in just a second, but this was not a coronation. This came down to the wire.
It kind of, to me, just showed how versatile he was. I mean, the truth is, I didn't watch him, but I was listening to the show, and I caught up with Dottie afterwards, and both yesterday and today, he certainly didn't have his best stuff. So it speaks to how rounded he is as a player, and how now he's gotten to that place with the self-belief and just the short game skills and the mental acumen where he doesn't have to be flushing it to win, because in wins past, it's been a ball striking clinic. And he made some uncharacteristic mistakes. I mean, the triple bogey in round 3, I mean, I would have bet my house on the fact that Scottie Scheffler wouldn't do that, but he did. And he still found a way past all of it. And he withstood some really difficult conditions. I mean, afterwards, I was just waiting for the thing to finish. And I was sitting there with my driver and my spotter, and we were on the cart with a monitor outside the clubhouse. And Ludwig Oberg walked past. And he goes, "Is that the show?" So he looks there and we're catching up. I'm like, "How do you play?" And he goes, "I shot 2 over." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And he goes, "Yeah, and I played really well." And then I'm like, well, seriously, I know it was hard. And he goes, "Honestly, I feel like we got the US Open early over the weekend." So the way that Scottie withstood the conditions and just kind of played around what he had to still win, I mean, it's impressive stuff.
Just one birdie on the card, KP. It came on number 6, 3 bogeys. That is a 2-over round of 74. You mentioned it on HQ. It was still better than the field average, which was about 3 strokes over par. But how would you assess Scottie in these difficult conditions, especially over the weekend?
Well, so there's 2 things that kind of stood out to me about his weekend. One, and we just talked about this on HQ a little bit, is I think the depth of his gifts is obvious in the numbers. You can get on Rick Run Good or Data Golf or wherever, and you see like, oh, this guy, like Justin Wright tweeted this. He's made 24 mil this year. Xander's next closest at like 12. This guy's very, very good, right? But I think it's less obvious, like the breadth of his gifts is less obvious unless you kind of watch the way that he puts wins together. And what I mean by that is he's gifted in so many different areas that he can, you're not always going to be on with the driver, or your short game is going to be off one day, or you're not making putts or whatever. And he just, more than anybody else in the world currently, and maybe over the last 10 or 15 years, has the ability to cover up those mistakes with other parts of his game and still go out and win tournaments. So that's the first thing that stood out. So depth and breadth of his gifts. The second thing is that this is the exact playbook, right? What he did this week is the exact playbook for how Tiger used to win. People think of these electric Tiger Sundays, and there were obviously some of them. You're going to get some of them over the course of 82 wins. Tiger's playbook was build a 2-shot, 3-shot, 4-shot lead going into Sunday, and you're just defending the trophy at that point. And when you have the decision making and the ability with your iron play that Tiger had and that Scottie has to an extent, defending a 2, 3, 4-shot lead becomes it just becomes like it's really hard to beat that guy, right? And I think that that's what we saw on Sunday is when you're just defending a 4-shot lead going into Sunday, when he won the tournament on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, he just got the trophy on Sunday. And that to me stood out as that kind of playbook that he ran out of kind of Tiger's heyday of when he was winning all the time.
What I love about how he did it down the stretch here, Greg, is the 2 putts that he made on 16 and 18. Yep. He rolls in a 16-footer on 16 to save par, and then he has to roll in a 4-foot 9-inch putt down the slippery slope at Muirfield Village, knowing that it's win and it's over. I thought these short putts were his weakness. I thought these were his kryptonite. I thought that he doesn't make these. I thought that he's got the yips on these. I thought this was the only part about his game that stunk. I guess he's just an absolute complete assassin.
Yes. And those putts were clutch because, quite frankly, this day, Kyle pointed out a lot of this. I thought that was really well said, Kyle, when it comes to that playbook. But this day could have been a whole lot better. He couldn't get a putt to fall. I mean, he had a number of really good putts that looked like they were going to go in that didn't. The one on 10, I don't know how that didn't go in. I thought it was in the dead center, 3 feet shy of the hole, and it missed. There were a number of those. And he also hit some really poor putts. Also early in the back 9, he hit a great shot into, I think it was 13. I mean, what do you have, like 5 feet 5 feet 6 inches, and hit an awful putt. And I was a little worried about that. You know, if he comes down the stretch with a putt that he has to make because this gets close, will he do it? And he did. He stepped up in the moment, which is the most important thing you can do with a putter in your hand, is when you have to make them, you make them. But the last thing is, and what I thought was the most interesting aspect of today was watching him and also watching Collin Morikawa and watching Adam Hadwin, but mostly Collin Morikawa. And did Collin Morikawa ever think he really could win? He played some great golf. I know we'll talk about him, but was there a Scottie effect going on that affected Morikawa's play at certain moments? It just seemed like he was a little afraid to jump up and take the lead. And I wonder if that was a little bit of a Scottie effect.
I want to read you, Mark, the courses that he's won at this year. And I actually want to look this up and see who has won at these 5 courses in their career. Scottie's done it all this year. So here they are: Bay Hill, TPC Sawgrass, Augusta National, Harbor Town, Muirfield Village. These are not your pitch and putts.
No, they're big boy golf courses, those, and every single one of them, in a way, you could look at them and throw a blanket over the requirements to play the golf course as well. But the truth is, they're all very different in their personalities and how the golf courses flow and sort of the examinations that they pose. But, you know, with the ball striking that he possesses, you can stick a flagstick on the back of anything, and he's going to find a way to get the ball close and find a way to make birdies and pars. And that's where a lot of these courses he wins at too. And Kyle touched on it, and so did Greg, where a lot of it sometimes becomes a bit of a war of attrition, and he can just outlast people, with the ball striking certainly, but now also with the skills around the greens. And then if that stuff is kind of wobbly and the game isn't completely there, just the mindsets, how he stays so present all the time, to me is just, it's Tiger-esque. It's Jack Nicklaus-esque. Like you heard Jack on the show today speak of when the question was posed, okay, if someone's got a birdie putt and you've got a birdie putt, what do you do? And Jack's instant answer was, I'm not concerned with him. I've just got to focus on my job. And that's what Scottie does. And so whether you're at Bay Hill or Augusta National or Sawgrass, the Stadium Place, or here at Muirfield Village, yeah, you got to play, but you also got to stay in your lane. And he does that better than anybody right now.
I want to continue this conversation about Scottie, talk about Collin Morikawa. There are a couple other notable things that happened on Sunday, and we'll look ahead. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
An unsub, a seasoned one, and he's leaving a calling card.
How do we find a ghost? I have a plan.
And we're back. KP, the other thing that I found interesting, or at least noteworthy for this Sunday, is something we kind of talk about all the time. It's like the ebbs and flows of the golf tournament. It's understanding when to push the break, when to yield, when to floor it, all that stuff. And while Scottie's lead was shrinking, I'm not sure I ever felt like he wasn't in control. It felt like there were guys trying to come and get him, but he was just constantly holding them off at arm's reach. That's what I felt like as this Sunday went on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. That's sort of what I was saying earlier. Is it felt like he won the tournament on, I can't remember. He birdied 2 of the first 3 on Saturday, I think. 2 of the first 4, maybe.
2 of the first 3.
And after that second birdie, I guess on the 3rd hole, I mean, I sent the GIF. I thought it was over. I thought that was it, because you're giving yourself, you're creating an optionality, right? Think about a different industry. Think about investing. What do you want? You want optionality. Think about business. You want optionality. You want to leave yourself a bunch of different outs. And when Scottie is playing, trying to play par golf just to hold guys off, he could go for more pins if he wanted to. He's given himself that option. He just has a lot more. He has a lot more. And this is, again, the Tiger playbook. When you have a 2, 3, 4 shot lead on a Sunday, you're leaving yourself a ton of options. You can play par golf. You can go for a green if you feel good, if you got a good number, if you got a stock shot, if it's the right shot shape, whatever. So he just, like, Morikawa had no option. He had to go for everything, right? And Scottie just had a lot of options. And I think that is, when Scottie has more options than you on a difficult golf course, that's and he didn't hit. I mean, he had moments where he kind of opened the door a little bit, but he just, I'm with you. It didn't ever feel like he was going to lose that golf tournament.
Along those lines, Rick, I just want to share real fast. I never forget a conversation I had with Scott Fawcett, who is the developer of Decade, which is a course management system that a lot of colleges use and a lot of PGA Tour professionals use right now, notably Will Zalatoris. And Scott shared with me a conversation he had with Maverick McNeely when McNeely was still at Stanford. And Tiger came back and visited. Of course, Tiger Woods is a Stanford alum. And so it was like a question answer. And Maverick said to him, okay, Tiger, what do you think? What is the key to playing well? And Tiger said, you got to be a good lag putter. And Maverick was like, really? Come on, give me more. And so Tiger said, yeah, really. So Tiger goes, well, Maverick, if I'm good from 35, 40 feet and I 2-putt all of those, I'm going to make a number of pars. Then there are 4 par 5s in a regular course. If I play those couple 3 under, I'm 3 under. And if I pick up 1 or 2 more, I'm shooting 67, 68. And I do that 4 times, and I'm shooting somewhere between 12 and 20 under, 18 under. And so basically, it's what Kyle's saying, where Scottie, just because he strikes the ball so well, can hit the ball hole high 20 feet on a difficult hole, make par, go ahead, because he kind of knows that, bar the odd aberration, he's going to make pars in just about every hole he faces, no matter how hard it is. And we saw that today. The one shot that he hit that stood out to me was on 12. Man, I went through there with Adam Hadwin and Sepp Straka, who are both hitters, especially Straka. And where the flag was cut, all you see is water, a bunker, and this huge slope off to the water on the right. And you pull one, which is the pro safety, and you are dead in a bunker or the long rough over there. And I described it as just terrifying. And Hadwin hit in the bunker, made a par. Scottie flushes the 7-iron in there to about 15 feet. And that's when I was like, holy cow, man. This guy's playing chess, and the rest of everyone else is playing checkers right now, because he can hit whatever he wants whenever he pleases.
Mark, we had this conversation, Rick and I, briefly last night, but just looking at some of his numbers, if you look at his proximity, like where he ranks on tour of proximities, and you go to like long range, outside of 200 yards, he's 47th. And you may think, well, okay, that's an issue in his game, but I believe that's a strategy. Really far away, I'm going to hit it to the middle of the green. You start getting into these closer ranges, like 50 to 125, he's first. 100 to 125, he's first. 75 to 100, he's first. All inside 100 yards, he's first. So all of these varying areas, he's deciding, because he's such a good wedge player and short iron player. He's also first from 150 to 175. But he's got, these are the options, right? All right, I have a 4-iron here. I'm only going to have 3 4-irons in this round, and 2 of them are going to be on par 5s. I don't need to hit this right at the flag, because I'm going to have 6 wedges, and I'm going to hit those inside of 15 feet, and I'm going to make 3 of those. I'm going to hit 2 par 5s and 2, and those are going to be easy birdies, and I'm going to win.
Yeah.
But he's in such control, he can play that kind of, he can play chess.
And you speak to the control to take the deep dive further. You watch him, he always plays in from the safe side of the hole. You very rarely see him short side himself. And you speak of par 5s, 15 yesterday. He's got 3-iron in there. Wind is gusting in off the right. There's water short right, big bunker. And he starts this 3-iron 20 yards left and carves the thing. It wasn't the prettiest trajectory you'll ever see, but he was taking the danger out of play, and eventually carves it on the green there to about 15 feet and made 3. So that's just how he plays, to your point. So on that shot he's picking, if he pulls it, he can pitch. If he doesn't, he's putting. So it's just like a course management / ball striking masterclass right now.
The one thing I thought of when you were talking, Mark, about lag putting is I feel like, so you think about like generational players of the last 10, 15 years, and Rory's the other guy that comes to mind, along with Scottie and maybe a couple others. But I feel like Rory, this is anecdotal, I don't have the numbers on it, but especially at majors, I feel like he's been a bad lag putter. Like, I feel like that's one thing that he has kind of struggled with a little bit. And I think it's hurt him at major championships. The other thing about Scottie is I brought this up. I think I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago about how he's second in the world on Data Golf this year in strokes gained around the greens behind Hideki. I was like, man, I don't understand how somebody that is that good in like with his ball striking also has the best short game in the world. And somebody brought up a great point, and it's what Greg just said, is that strokes gain doesn't necessarily read where you leave yourself. It just is how far you are from the hole. And when you don't short side yourself, it's so much easier to get up and down. And so it's all, he almost like creates more opportunity to gain strokes, because he might be further away and like off the green, but he's not going to be short sided. He's not going to be in a horrible spot. And so he's just able to get up and down a lot more often, even if guys are like have a closer proximity, like Greg said, from further away.
A 15-yard chip over your head, over a bunker, is graded the same as a 15-yard chip with plenty of green to work with.
Yeah.
No problem getting down to. Okay, well, Scottie's at 5. Do we want to venture any guesses on where this ends? Because we're already at a historic rate. There's 2 major championships. We'll count the We'll count the Tour Championship. Kyle just flashed 7 fingers in front of the camera. So you've got 2 more coming, KP.
Well, I mean, I got one more. He's already won the US Open. It's already over.
Yeah, well, think about where. Okay, so he's going to play US Open. We're unsure about Travelers. I think he'll probably play. Then you won't see him until
Scottish.
Maybe Scottish. So that's 3-ish. Then you're going to see him
Open
and playoffs.
Yeah.
Will he play? Will he play the Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, that's a 60-man field in which he's guaranteed 4 rounds, and the bottom half of that field is going to be very weak. So if we want to count that one,
You sound like Brooks Koepka now. I just want him to win next week because I've got him in our. I got the first pick in our pool, and I've got Scottie next week. So let's go.
Mark, I think you're safe. I think we're good there.
It's stupid. I mean, the joke is that you talk to the players, right? And the players don't kind of give the thing to him, but they all reference him. They're like, well, Scottie. And it's like Scottie, insert whatever afterwards. And so it's like, all right, this is kind of the high water mark over here. And we're going to do our level best to beat Scottie because we know if we do that, we're probably close to winning the tournament.
Yeah, Xander did it at his press conference after winning the PGA.
Yeah.
Right? Sitting next to the Wanamaker saying, I still got to get to that guy.
Scottie Mountain.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. I was very high on his chances of winning the career Grand Slam. I did not foresee what happened in Louisville, as Scottie said. I didn't foresee that happening. So shame on me. But I still think he's going to win the U.S. Open. I think he's going to win the Open. I think
he's going to win
the Tour Championship.
You think he's going to win Open and U.S. Open?
Yeah.
Go, Greg. Someone called Vegas.
Look, it asked for the what is the Open? I know there's a lot of variance in the Open.
What is
Yeah, this sounds existential.
This is being tactful. We'll see what happens with the weather and the draw. I'm a little less.
No, don't backtrack on your call. Stick with it.
I'm not backtracking. Look, this is the Open is like the great players are winning the Open year in and year out.
Greg, I'm imagining Elijah prophesying, and then he goes, "But wait a second, maybe not." You are prophesying, brother. Don't back up. You're good here. Go with both.
I'm just noting that after what happened to me at the PGA Championship, there are crazy things that can happen. So I'm just leaving a little bit. Whatever, Kyle, optionality. I'm giving myself optionality here. He's the best player. He can complete every test that happens in the game of golf. He is the most suited to play it. I don't know why you'd think he wouldn't win the Open.
I mean,
Both
yeah.
Opens.
Rick, have you seen? I'm seeing like 3-1, 2.5-1 to win the U.S. Open. Have you seen that number? I mean, since Tiger?
No.
Tiger Woods number.
No,
2.5-1. Are you kidding me?
So we have already kind of been in some historic places. I mean, we don't really even see before this year to see somebody that was shorter than 4-1 at any event was pretty crazy. It was like DJ one time at Pebble Beach and he withdrew on Tuesday or Wednesday. So we never saw it come to fruition. It was Rahm in Mexico. And it was like, that was basically the list. Right. So now to do that routinely at a major, that is only Tiger. There were a couple, I think there was like one Greg Norman year at the Masters one time. It's just we're so far removed from anything in the modern game.
And Rick, is it warranted?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, yes. I mean, what are we doing here? He's like by far the best player in the world. And I think the US Open is interesting because it is going to be very strategic and it's going to allow him to show off everything, which I think is pretty scary, but yeah, it's warranted.
I think and hope that Pinehurst is going to be a bloodbath. Like, I think it's going to be like insane.
There have been in the. I was looking at these leaderboards from the past U.S. Opens. There's only been 4 players to shoot under par at Pinehurst in the 3 U.S. Opens.
Yeah, Martin Keimer,
Eric Compton.
Payne Stewart, Ricky Fowler, and Eric Compton.
Yeah, yeah. Michael Campbell was even.
Yeah,
it's a pretty small list.
You speak of bloodbaths. I mean, it was a bloodbath out there today. What? Yes. I was watching lob wedges hit the green, bounce like 6-7 feet up the flag, and then jump forward a few feet and then spin. Yeah. It was so hard. And I'm hearing about guys like shooting 80 and stuff around there. There were a bunch of 79s. Rory shoots 76. Today was tough. I don't know how many guys finished on the par in the end, but I caught up with Christian Bezuidenhout afterwards, and he finished 3 under maybe and was 4th, right?
Yeah, so I think so today was like 3 shots over par, and I think Pinehurst in 2014 was 3 shots over par for the week. So it was a US Open today. That's what that was.
Yeah, even par was tied 12 at the Memorial.
They should just change the Muirfield Village scored a par to 70, and it'd be a US Open. It'd have been even par. He would have won at even par. Just change some of those crooked par 5s to par 4s, and we're good to go.
The closest chaser, Collin Morikawa, who held himself in this thing until the very last putt. Morikawa shot a 1 under 71, so he was one of the 6 rounds under par. Mark, we'll throw this to you here first. This was nice to see. He did not get the job done, but I was saying on HQ, Morikawa should leave Ohio brimming with confidence.
I have no doubt now that I think he's back to some of his very best. He had been flashing glimpses of the stuff over the last little while, but I commend him for the decisions he's made and then the work he's put in. To go back to Rick Sessinghaus as his instructor, longtime teacher, I think was a real smart move. And you can see the things have been trending in the right direction. And today he played like Collin Morikawa we know. It's kind of clinical, clear thinking. He hits the right shot all the time, and obviously he strikes the ball well. And he stood up to Scottie Scheffler. I mean, he put pressure enough on Scottie where you could see when Scottie made that putt on 16, you could see this was meaningful. He knew he had a battle on his hands. And so, look, I'm happy for him. He's a quality player. When he plays well, is great for competition. So I'm looking forward to what happens as golf ventures further down the track. You speak of Pinehurst. I'm watching the way he played today and the way he's been trending. I'd be keeping my eye on him next week too.
4th in strokes gained off the tee, 4th in strokes gained approach, 18th around the green, 11th with the putter and KP. He was a couple inches away from that chip from behind the green on 18, hitting the stick and going down. He gave it a good run.
Yeah, I mean, I think he thought he made it, right?
Well, he thought when it was like 12 feet out, he thought he had it because he was expecting it to go more.
Yeah. Man, I know it's easy to, or at least it's easy for us to kind of pick apart Morikawa and say he's an unreliable, what do you say? Unreliable narrator?
Yeah.
Who's more reliable, him or Brooks?
Brooks, you can usually see through Brooks's BS. Collin really believes a lot of it,
I think. So he's an unreliable narrator. He's always kind of like, you never know if he's I mean, at this point, you look at what he's done the last 2 months, and I'm like, we should like, you could tie me into him being the second favorite for the US Open, right? Because final 2 groups at the Masters and PGA, or final pairing at the Masters and the PGA, he's hitting it good again, or at least he has been for the last 3 or 4 events. His short game has been really good over the last 2 months, and the US Open is probably the major that he should win, right? Like, or at least like traditionally. So I'm very encouraged and optimistic about sort of where Morikawa is at right now. I mean, look at these finishes. His worst finish is I mean, that's a team event. His worst finish is Quail Hollow T16. I mean, that's really and these are big boy events. These are good fields. He's been playing really good, and I think at this point we kind of have to just accept, like, hey, Morikawa is a top 3 or 4 guy in the world right now, and he should if he doesn't compete to win the US Open, I think that's a disappointing week for him given where he's at.
Runner-up, 4th and 4th in his last 3 here, Greg. That does not include, as Kyle pointed out, the run at the Masters, going deep at RBC Heritage, and then you look at his US Open history. So here's his last 3 US Opens: T14 at LACC, 5th at the Country Club where he couldn't hit a cut, and T4 at Torrey. So yeah, pretty good.
Yes. So there's a few things with Collin Morikawa. One, we're in this place now where this is about him winning, right? We were in a place where, does he have his game? And he's made it very clear that he has his game, clicking on just about all cylinders, which is a very good sign heading into Pinehurst. But the big question is, when he gets into this final pairing with Scottie Scheffler, does he believe that he can win? I know he can say it, but does he really believe it? I would look to number 15. He doesn't get it up and down from long of the green. He had Scottie on the ropes there. He gets that up and down and makes 4 at 15. This tournament can change, and he could be the one to apply pressure. He makes bogey at 16 with kind of a weak chip, misreading that lie. I know it's a difficult hole. I know a lot of players made bogey there, but it's another opportunity to step up and take this tournament. Now, all that being said, it's a really good sign that he has a chance to go take the tournament, to go take the title and go win this thing. And hopefully all of these experiences that he's piling up can lead to a major championship the way they did for Xander Schauffele as well.
Scottie Scheffler is a 5-time winner on the PGA Tour this year alone. We are going to recap the bets so we can talk about some more guys. We will recap the one and done, and we will look ahead to next week. But first, we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our partners.
Well, you need your sports news anywhere?
We've got breaking news to bring you.
Then get your sports anytime you want them. Big trade news overnight to discuss.
Because we know you need sports all the time.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
A legend adds to their legacy.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, anywhere, anytime, all the time.
And we're back quickly here. One last notable out of Dublin, Mark. Adam Hadwin bogeyed his last 3 holes, but that is not going to stop him from punching his ticket to the Open Championship, because he earned the one spot that was available to those who had not already qualified, a solo third for Adam Hadwin. It also, I think he needed a second or better to overtake Corey Connors for the Olympic team. So he has just closed that gap. And of course, we've got a President's Cup in Canada later this year. So big week for Adam Hadwin.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him. I was following his group today. I was actually scheduled to go out with Xander and Oberg. And then, of course, Hadwin gets off to the fast start. So I dropped back to the penultimate group. And as I watched him play, it was very solid all around, bar the finish at the end, which basically everybody was tripping up over those last few holes, bar a few. But the thing that struck me about what he was doing was it was sort of light and jovial. Between shots, he was chit-chatty. He was talking to me. He was talking with Sepp Straka. And I wanted to sort of look at him and go, yeah, big guy, you just won off the lead right now at one stage. And yeah, you're playing like it's a Sunday afternoon at your country club. So it looked like he was very content in the environment, which I think is a big step up for him, because he's always been the kind of guy with a lot of talent, playing his way into position, then kind of fold a little bit over the weekend. But not today. He was up for the battle and playing beautifully. So I'm happy for him, because he's always been the talented one of all of the Canadians, but sort of underachieved. So maybe today is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, big step indeed. 4 under par, solo third. Josh, do we have the results of the bets, which actually, I mean, Patrick is not here to peacock this, but we actually had a pretty decent week here. Billy Horschel over Shane Lowry. Patrick went nuts. I want to let me save that. Let me save that one. Greg,
This is an insane bet.
wait till you see his best bet too. Yeah.
To finish
So,
up what?
so we'll talk about that. Scottie Scheffler was on your outright card here, Greg.
Yes, it's a nice win, but like we talked about, it's you win $5 for it, whatever. That's just the world we live in. But I'm not going to give it away. What the big mistake I made is I have now over the last couple of weeks, my second outright when Scottie plays is a winner without Scottie.
Yeah.
And I had it again. I just decided not to do it for some unforsaken reason. So I'm kicking myself on that. Shane Lowry was inside the top 20 heading into the final round and shot ocho cinco on Sunday to fall out of the top 20. So that one stung. And I never liked Cantlay over Ludwig. That was a bad pick on Tuesday. So anyway, good to have a little green on the board. It's nothing like Patrick's though.
All right. So how about this, boys? So Patrick was all in on Collin Morikawa and Scottie Scheffler. So what he did is he took Morikawa in his matchup plus 145 over Cantlay and Ludwig, cashed that. He then took a without market. So a winner without Scheffler, Schauffele, and Rory. So remove those guys. And he picked Morikawa at 10-1. That cash because Morikawa finished runner-up. And then Josh
won.
Yeah. And then Josh, if you flip over to the best bets, he took Scottie Scheffler to win.
Wow.
Jeez.
Huge.
So that was an incredibly profitable. I'm assuming these are updated, Josh. Is this updated? Or this is just the best bets updated?
Patrick is carrying us.
Oh, yeah. He's ever since he started. There you go. There's the over.
Oh, yikes. He got positive.
Yes. So ever since he finally committed to the bit, which is like, I'm just going to take my $50 and put it on the shortest odds to win. He has made money hand over fist since then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at the win percentage. It's actually climbed. He's doing pretty. I think it's in the best bets. His win percentage is very low and his profit is the highest of anybody. 28%.
Yet he's
win percentage. Crushing the profit. Crushing everybody else. It's awesome. Outright, I guess if you want to know how to make money in golf, Scottie Scheffler.
Or do like you did, Greg, and at plus 165, take Sepp Straka to finish inside the top 20. He finished 5th.
Yeah, I'm chipping away at it. I have a very good win percentage, 46%, but I'm just not making any money.
Sepp Straka's like good.
Yeah,
that guy is, man. That guy is robotic. I was watching him play today. He just stamps out shot after shot after shot. It's like he's growing in stature as a player ever since the victory last year, the second John Deere, and then turning around in the Ryder Cup performance. He looks like a different guy.
He's consistent now.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the worst KP? Does he have the worst weight to driving distance ratio?
He's like the opposite of Minwoo.
Yeah. Minwoo's the 140 pounds, hit at 330, and Sepp's the opposite.
He's
of
the
that.
opposite.
Yeah.
Like
Sepp's ball speed's not over his body weight.
Okay. No. So funny, but who would you take in a head-to-head right now between Minwoo and Sepp?
Sepp.
Yeah.
All
long driving contest.
Yeah, all we care about is ball speed, Mark. You
see. Yeah.
I think I wrote this in Normal Sport 3, maybe, but the top 5 in body weight to ball speed ratio.
Oh, wait. Do you know who they are?
I don't. I just made up my own list.
Oh, okay.
Zalatoris.
I did not. That's right.
Rory.
Yep.
Rory.
Yeah, maybe. Cam Champ.
Oh yes.
How big is this guy Kevin Doherty?
No, he's quite tall.
You think he's 200 pounds?
Well, I think he's outside of the top 5. Is that what you're saying, body weight wise?
Yeah.
Sargent might be the captain. Gordon Sargent.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
But Kyle, he's tall. I'm saying he's a.
Oh, look at that.
Tall guy.
How did you find that so fast? Wait a minute.
You know who else needs to be on this, KP? Alejandro Tosti.
Yeah.
He's short. I don't know if he's like light.
Yeah, fair point. He might be thick.
Great find here, producer Josh.
Yeah. Wow.
So what did he do? He had that file and then searched it and then clipped it and then put it in the show that fast.
That was sick.
Professional.
Elite production.
I do have some updates though for you guys.
Okay.
Kevin Doherty officially listed at 180 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Alejandro Tosti officially listed. This is my guy right here. 5'6", 168 pounds.
No, there's no way.
No way. What?
He's
He's
168.
You think he's less or more?
More.
No.
He's thick.
5'6" is not very tall.
He's kind of a thick, short boy.
And remember, this is the dude that was trying to pick a fight with Finau, who would break 3.5 if he wanted to.
Finau would destroy him.
Well, unless we're gonna weigh these guys every week, I don't have a better way to tell you. He at one point he weighed 168 pounds.
Okay, what about Akshay
Didn't we
Patel?
all?
Okay, Mark, how much do you think Akshay weighs?
He's fairly tall, 170.
No, 150.
No,
Yeah, but he'll be listed higher.
Okay,
what's he?
we
125.
we should not trust the listed weights.
That's
What is
I'm
it? 175?
He is listed at 130.
Whoa.
Okay, he's on the first team.
He will blow away.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not
Well,
that fast. He's like a
he does
115 club head
use
speed guy. Wow.
Yeah, but if he weighs 130, then it doesn't matter what he is.
I know,
He's just
I
on
know.
the team.
Wow. Maybe we should trust the listed.
Did you
Will
think after
Zalatoris was 175 for a while. And I was like, I don't think he's that heavy.
did you think after Scottie won the 5th time this year, we'd be talking about how much Akshay Bhatia weighs?
No, but I knew we'd get to nonsense at some point. There should be a yearly combine where they have to weigh in and do hammer curls or something.
All-Star weekend. We could have Mark going around with a microphone, just asking people how they speed train, how much they eat, what they eat. Oh, it would be all the way in.
Brought to you by
reps at 225.
Do what?
Bench press reps at 225.
That wouldn't be a very long line. I don't
No.
think.
How many guys do you think could there'd probably be more guys that could do 0 than 1.
Oh,
Definitely.
for sure. I don't
Like there's probably like 3 guys who could do 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say who could even do 225 once.
Finau.
Finau.
His arms are so long though. It would take like 30 seconds for
He's
him to do
strong.
1
He's
rep.
just strong. I bet you Cam Champ could. He's strong.
I bet you Ludwig can.
Ludwig is.
I don't know. You know, he's a beast
Rory
in the gym.
could.
On Rahm.
Yeah.
Rahm could do it.
He's
There's
hurt
a
now.
couple of live guys that could do
I
it.
think you know who I think maybe could. He's kind of barrel chested. Is Gary Woodland.
Oh, he definitely could.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm there.
And
Rip
Tiger.
him out.
honestly.
Yeah.
Tiger's
Tiger would win.
Do you think Tiger's longest drive or his max bench is higher? What number's higher right now?
max bench at this point. The one
Greg liked that one.
It could be close. He's huge.
he is huge.
The USGA tweeted out a picture of him from Pinehurst. He looks massive. He looks so big.
Oh, it's so funny.
I mean, that's all his swing speed is like upper body, though. So
The one.
So
and
who
done.
has thinner legs, Akshay or Tiger? Okay, move along, Rick. Let's go.
Oh man.
The one and done. There was some
No,
movement.
don't even move on.
What Mark? Yeah, I know.
Oh.
There was movement. Unfortunately, it was by the two guys already at the top. But we have to start at the bottom. KP. Sorry, bud.
What a
I mean,
story.
just you guys should kick me out of the league.
No, you're the only reason that I am not the target of all the vitriol. You have to stay.
This is embarrassing. I picked a guy who missed a 12-player cut.
It was Patrick Cantlay. That's concerning.
Are you more concerned about Spieth or Cantlay?
I'm concerned. Well, I've always been concerned about Spieth. It's new that I'm concerned about Cantlay, so it's uncharted territory.
Cantlay, yeah. This is not good. He's been bad this year.
It's been horrible.
So great.
Mark and I had Victor Hovland 329,000, in which we were licking our chops on Friday night, Mark. And then Victor, hold on, he shot a 77-75 on the weekend.
Okay, to all of the folks who went with Vic this week, and to you, Rick, I beg profuse apology. I had his group on Saturday. I'm like, let's go. And then the boy made a birdie on the par 5, 6th, 5th. And I'm like, here we are. He's in second. And all of a sudden, Victor's alter ego set in over the second night. I think it was me.
He was at the winning number. He got to 8.
Yeah. I've never seen all of my years calling golf, and this has been since 2012. I'll comfortably say that I have not seen anything like that. I mean, I can understand a few bogeys, but he made like 3 straight. Then all of a sudden, he makes triple on 16, which, granted, his tee shot was just a few feet from being okay, but the wedge to miss the green long, you just absolutely DOA. Makes 6 over there on a par 3. Golly, I'm still shocked that it happened, how he played over that last 9 holes.
Okay, we accept your apology, but we will blame you moving forward. That's 329,000 for Mark and I. Josh got 766,000 for Ludwig, and then Greg and Patrick, who were I think they were already at the top together, got richer. The rich get richer. Collin Morikawa, 2.2 million. Greg, congrats.
Yeah, hey, it was best available option. So I'm thrilled with that. Getting really thin on the, ammunition left in the tank here. So this was an important one to hit on. It was really important. 1 signature event, 3 playoff events. Some of the guys that are big names that I still have, I'm hoping make the playoffs and the Tour Championship. Just kind of waiting for them to get hot the way Morikawa did. But yeah, if this could be, this was the right pick. It was good. It was. I'm very pleased.
Greg, I have some breaking news.
What's that?
I see this.
You have moved up to 20th in the big pool.
Oh,
you are 3.2 million out of first.
Wow,
very close.
Okay.
I just made a huge mistake at the PGA Championship.
Wait, who'd you take there?
I took Brooks, and I wanted to take Bryson, and I should have, but I didn't. So I'm still 3 million back, but we're getting close.
Yeah, that was hard because Brooks had just won.
Yeah, I know, but it was such a Bryson course.
Yeah, you're right.
The updated big pool. Oh, look at this. 16.7 million for Rev Razzle Dazzle. Ren 2 is next, followed by Worm Burners, C_Bull, Defoy Bro, Garth _ Cressman, Kirsten, who we decided was somebody's partner, I thought, Brendan Hennessy, Golf Doc, and JT 158 round out the big one and done pool.
Well, at least a man of the cloth is leading in Reverend Razzle Dazzle. I mean, go boy.
Rev Razzle Dazzle. Got it. I thought they were revving their engine.
Nah, I'm going to call him Minister from now on.
There you go. Gents, we've already kind of delved into the U.S. Open chat a bit, but I will note, and you guys mentioned him earlier, Jon Rahm withdrew from Live Houston with a blister between his toes.
Hate to see it.
True.
I mean, I can imagine that's extremely painful and uncomfortable to walk and swing. It's just kind of a funny way to withdraw.
I don't know. How would you do that, Mark? Spending too much time at the beach?
Yeah, practicing in sandals, I guess. He's got weeks off. Yeah, I don't know.
I hate things in, but this would be my nightmare. Something in between my toes like that.
Yeah. I hate sandals. I hate all of it.
I hate everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's does anybody have any confidence in Rahm going into the US Open?
No.
Nothing. Just not. I mean, take the WD out of it and bad at Augusta, worse at the PGA. It's just there's just nothing there. I don't and maybe some of that I personally I think some of it is just live related, just the emotion of going over there and how big of a change that was, but it's been a really lousy year for him so far.
It has. It has. We're kicking off U.S. Open week immediately here, Greg, because Monday morning, the second practice tee time is Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, and one Tiger Big Cat Woods.
Yeah, we know who could do the most on the bench press in that group.
Ricky Fowler.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Ricky came in second, tied second when Keimer won in 14. He has not been playing very well. So maybe getting back to Pinehurst revives him a little bit. But tough to see that coming right now. JT, new putter in play, didn't work out great this week. He's got some work to do. Jordan Spieth, if it's not on a tee, he doesn't seem to be able to hit it. He's got some work to do.
That's true.
I can't believe it. It's consistent.
What if I told you like 6 years ago the only thing Spieth could do is drive the ball?
I wouldn't believe you.
Like what?
It would be
so. He was on Friday. He was right on the cut line when I was looking, and he was first in the field in strokes gained off the tee. He was missing the cut.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's crazy.
So that that's a pairing, sadly, that they don't have a whole lot going for them heading into this U.S. Open. They have a lot going for them in life in general, but not a whole lot in this U.S. Open.
Did you see Smiley's tweet, Rick?
No, what was it?
Smiley said that's a nice upgrade for that group because that was the spring break crew. They all went on spring and they subbed Tiger in for Smiley.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, we'll wrap on this. You only get to choose one. It's Sunday night, so we're not going to hold you to it. But Mark, what is the one thing that you are looking forward to seeing the most next week? One thing. Go.
Going to sound like a golf nerd, but the golf course. I'm just looking forward to seeing how Pinehurst number 2 is set up, what the USGA do with it, and how it plays out. I mean, if there's one major we're going into that there are more question marks, I think, than anything else, is this one. Because it's going to be hard to handicap players. We don't know how the course is going to be set up. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this whole thing shakes out from that point of view.
Kyle, what are you looking forward to the most?
Well, that was my answer as well. I think it's I think it's going to be fast. I think it's going to be just a war, and I think it's going to be Pinehurst is is just it's different than like an Oakmont or it's just a different style of play. And I think, like Mark said, if you dial those greens up a little bit, you just can't hold them from the waist area. And so I want to see like a real US Open test. I don't need the long rough and like all that stuff. I just want to see I want it to be really hard, because I think that really hard creates really consequential, fun golf shots. And we got that kind of, I thought we were going to get it more than we did last year. We got it at times at LACC, but I think Pinehurst is just going to be awesome. And I'm really, really excited to see it.
Greg?
So the story of a U.S. Open always seems to be the golf course to me, but this one in particular, we have an opportunity to watch a golf course that presents so much strategy just get picked apart by the best strategist that we've seen since Tiger and Scottie Scheffler. And so I'm most looking forward to watching how Scottie Scheffler navigates his way around this golf course. Mark said it, it's a masterclass in golf course management. And I think this is the perfect canvas to showcase that.
Nobody do their rain dances between now and next Sunday, because the forecast is 82, 84, 87, 90, 92, 93, 91 on Sunday, and not much or any rain in the forecast. So no rain dances, nothing. Don't do anything crazy. Okay. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I want to pitch a quick question at the group here. Okay, if you had one live player to pick at the US Open, who do you go? I'm leaning towards, it's kind of like Phil Sandbeltish to me, so maybe Cameron Smith. What say you?
He would definitely be my choice, but I can't pick him in one and done.
I will take sneaky Cam Smith and go with Patrick Reed, who is playing really good golf right now. Just finished third in Houston. I don't have his major championship stuff in front of me, but I think he's played well at majors this year. And this is going to turn into a short game thing.
Give me Brooks.
How's Bryson going to do around this place?
I don't know.
That's the thing. This is why I'm fascinated by this thing, because no one really knows. You can't look at the course and go, this guy's going to thrive around this place.
Well, you're totally right, Mark. And I think that you're right about Valhalla, or I can't remember. Maybe it was Greg that said Valhalla was so perfect for Bryson, just the way it's set up. And this place, you're like, man, Bryson's playing really good major championship golf, but this is, I don't know. Like, there's going to be so many weird short shots. And I hope he plays good, because it was so fun to have him in the mix those first two majors. I don't feel as confident about him as I did going into Valhalla.
I do have to note that my pick, Patrick Reed's not in the field, so I don't think he's going to win.
Okay.
I thought he was in. I thought it was like I guess this is the streak that ended it. It was like a decade in a row, like 40 in a row.
Did he try to qualify? Patrick Reed's not in the US Open field?
He's not in the field. This is the first major he has not been in like a decade.
Wow.
That stinks.
And Adam Scott will get in.
Yeah, he'll get in. In the top 60 in the world.
60.
Yeah.
So
I guess I'll go with Cam Smith, I guess. Or is Dean Burmeister? And Dean Burmeister's playing like the greatest golf of his life.
Mean Dean.
What about Walker Neiman?
He's pretty good too.
I'm fishing for one and done ideas is what I'm doing. I'm desperate.
Great. All right. Well, we will be back next week with our normal cadence plus a network show on Wednesday. That will be at 2 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network. We're actually going to have another network show the Monday after the US Open, but we'll worry about that later. So normal cadence plus that extra show means we are going 7 days in a row. And because we just went 4 days in a row, that means we're going 11 days in a row. And because we're adding in we're going to go 12 days in a row.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Big thanks to producer Josh, who does all the hard work behind the scenes. Greg DuCharme at The Real GFD. Mark Immelman at Mark_Immelman. Kyle Porter at Kyle Porter CBS. And you can find me at Rick Run Good. This has been The First Cut. We'll catch you next time.